Hi, everybody. Welcome to Virtual English 2 for today. Sorry about my face right here. I cut myself shaving over the weekend. So, no, I am not becoming some hideous pus monster. I just cut myself shaving. Anyway, today, what you're going to be doing is we're starting our unit over what is an essay, essentially, is what we're going to be exploring. And uh, I'm starting this off by having you watch this video. It is by Evan Polinsky, I believe his name is, and it is basically a TED Talk in which he discusses kind of what his thoughts on what an essay is. In fact, here, let me share with you the actual assignment. This is an optional assignment, so you can do this if you want. What I really need you to do is finish your personal narrative, which is due tonight at 11:59. But I do recommend you watch this video along with this, watch this video and kind of just interact with what he has to say about essays, because like the first 6 minutes is the main thing I need you to get across, and the last 10 minutes just kind of shows you like what shapes essays can appear as. But the first 6 minutes are the main things I need you to get across, because schools make essays seem pointless, but there actually is a point to it. We have been writing for thousands of years and only been going to school for about 200-ish years, but there is this point of what, like, y'all think of school when you think of writing, but writing has just existed way before school. And there's this academic wall that you've put between you and essays and you and writing. And what I'm trying to do, and what Mr. Polinsky is doing, is he's taking a sledgehammer, smashing apart, just destroying that original academic sense of what an essay is. He's tearing it down and throwing it away and completely reshaping the way that you should view it. Now, yes, essays do have certain parts to them. Like, they do have an introduction, they do have a body, and they do have a conclusion. But not all introductions, not all bodies, and not all conclusions have to look the same. Essays still are following kind of a Tolman model, where that you have a claim that you're exploring, but you still have to have evidence and a warrant to back it up. But that's not always going to look the same. So I want y'all to stop thinking of essays in a sense of academia, and I want you just to start looking at it as a way of expressing thought, looking about exploring thought, because writing is thinking, as he's going to say in the video, and as I have it in my classroom. In fact, see over there, writing is thinking, thinking is learning. Sorry about that if you're listening to me using headphones and I just all of a sudden hurt your ears. But yeah, writing is thinking, thinking is learning. And so that's the key here, is that I need you to stop thinking of this as just like a school assignment and looking at writing, especially essays, as a tool to explore your thoughts. Okay. So that's just the kind of the big things to talk about. A couple of notes I took while interacting with it. Of course, there are three major parts. You have the introduction, body, and conclusion, that he kind of talks about as topic sentences, supporting evidence, and conclusions. He kind of talks about the history of English. I, as a person that took a class that talked about the history of English, can go ahead and tell you that I always compare this thing that he talks about, which is the marriage of literature and writing, as a not a good marriage. And if you haven't noticed, we haven't spent as much time with literature. We've focused more on writing because I think that's a more universal beneficial skill for you to develop. You do need to know how to read, and we will read literature at some point this year. But I feel like you need to understand the rhetoric a little bit better. Like, that's the more important thing to take away. And once you understand the rhetoric, the literature is a little bit easier to digest. He even talks about how essays are trains of thought. They need to be short, interesting, and they need to find the truth. And believe it or not, 500 words is short. Long is getting closer to 5,000. Like 1,000 to 5,000 is where you're starting to get into the long range. But short is like 5,000 plus, it's long. Essays are usually less than about 5,000 words. Usually they're between 400 and 1,000. And yeah, he just talks about what essays are, showing your thinking, exploring your thoughts. So interact with what he has to say. If you want to write 200 words, just expressing what you thought about the piece, your thoughts on it, what you took away from it, and all that fun stuff. That's an optional grade. You don't have to do it. But I would encourage you to do so, just because, writing is thinking, and that's one of the better ways that we can learn. Tomorrow we'll start talking about writing purposes. Wednesday we'll talk about introductions. Thursday conclusions, and Friday we'll talk about body paragraphs. The face-to-face students are going to be doing a survey too. I don't know how to do that with the virtual kids, so y'all lucked out. But everybody else, you have to do a survey. But that's all I have for you today. Watch the video, possibly write 200 words, and make sure that you think about what an essay is and destroy that academic sense of what an essay is. Tear it down and be open-minded to this new crazy world that we call writing and essays. All right, and your personal narrative is due tonight. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace out, A-Town down. Like, subscribe, and bell me. Woo.